Did anyone notice the stables up here on the road to the castle? There are stables down there. Yeah, thank you. There was a person saying yes. There are stables down there with very nice horses. I grew up 25 kilometers from here in a region where there are a lot of horses. I grew up on a horseback, basically. And there's also a strong tradition in music. So when I moved away in 2002 to go to university, to engineering school, I was looking how can I continue with my passion for horse and for music. And I found a small stable near Graz, where I went to university, where they were breeding Lusitano horses. And they are not race horses, as Nikki said. They are bullfight horses. They were bred for war in the beginning in Portugal, and later on for bullfights. They're those strong, very compact, 650 to 700 kilo animals, very proud, very sensitive, and an amazing race. So when I found this little stable, I went there and asked, can I get lessons here? And they said, yeah, of course you can. Come anytime. And after a while, I was so lucky that my coach asked if I wanted to really help train the horses, because for some reason it worked so nicely. And then we started to train the young stallions. They were like 3 years, 2 to 3 years when we started working with them. And a lot of them just figured out that they are stallions. So when we walked past the meadows where all the female horses were, they were like really hard to handle. So it cost a lot of physical effort, but also a lot of mental effort to keep them under control. Well, one day I was on a horseback trying to achieve a lesson, a higher lesson. You call it piaffe. It's when the horse is walking, trotting on a spot. It's quite hard to do that. And I was trying really, really, really hard. I was making so much effort. My coach told me where exactly to put my hand, where exactly to put my leg, where to push harder, where to pull harder. And it didn't work. It just didn't work. So in a sense of self-preservation, I just let my mind wander. And suddenly, I heard my coach's voice. She said, "What are you doing right now, exactly in this second?" I asked, why? Why are you asking that? It's working perfectly. You're doing exactly the right thing. It's working perfectly. What are you doing? And I thought, what am I doing? And then I found that in my mind, I was singing. I was singing Mozart's Requiem, the Lacrimosa. Who of you knows Mozart's Requiem? Yeah, quite a few. So you know that Lacrimosa is a very, very sad part of the Requiem. And for some reason, I guess my mind was wandering back to the rehearsal from the day before, where we were practicing exactly that piece. And the tension in the body when you sing pianissimo, which is the beginning of the Lacrimosa, this tension was exactly the right thing, exactly the thing I needed in order to make the horse achieve what I wanted it to achieve. Why am I telling you this? I think I was trying too hard, and if you have to try too hard, if it's too complicated, it's not right. Most of the times it's not right. So now that I'm out of university, I'm working with startups a lot, and startups are so much like young horses. They're very, very similar. They have a lot of energy, they have a lot of potential, they are willing to work hard, and they work in a general direction, but they don't have their balance yet. So they need a lot of guidance, they need a lot of support, they need to find out how to channel their energy. And when I work with them, I see that most of them are under so much pressure. And when you put things under pressure, like you see with very sensitive horses, that if it's too much, it doesn't work out. They lose track, they give up. They fail. Failure is okay. Of course, failure is okay. You learn through failure. But why fail if you can go the right direction with a little more guidance and with less pressure? In this world of startups, this new trend you have with pitching events where people get evaluated within 5 minutes by people who want to make quick money with them, it's really hard. How can you be truthful? How can you be honest? How can you show what emotional need you want to tend to with your product or with your service? How can you do that if you know that you're being evaluated not only the business but also as a person, if people think you are good enough to achieve what you're promising? So I see it's very critical. People, young people, startups, they put themselves out there knowing that most of them will fail. And how can we give them more support? So I think back of the horses a lot when I work with my startups. And look, what's their melody? What Mozart, what Lacrimosa could they have in themselves that makes them think differently, let go of the pressure, and maybe find their own pace, their own path, their own rhythm? One example, there's one friend of mine who is working on a startup right now. He asked me a few days ago, we have an investor. He wants to invest a few $100,000 into my startup. I'm not sure if I should trust this person. He's not very, I don't see him as a person I can get along with well. I see that he sees the business idea in my startup. He sees that there is money to make. But for some reason, I don't feel comfortable about it. And he has 2 co-founders, and the co-founders are both in employments still. So they hardly get to work together a lot. How can those people be aligned and work with the same energy in the same direction? The person told me, how can I make the decision for the 3 of us if I hardly know which pace, which rhythm, which direction we should take? And that's exactly what I'm trying to say. When we, people, see us as part of something bigger that we need to be aligned in order to achieve, it's not only one startup, it's not only a horse, it's not only a piece of music, it's something greater, it's something that can inspire us. There's a pace, a rhythm, a melody in each and every one of us. And I think people who came here together today show that we are willing, that we're aspiring more. And this inspiration we should follow. And I think all the speakers and the organizing team and the people who are here today achieved something if they go outside after this event with the feeling, I want to do more with my life than I've done before. Not more in a monetary way, but more in a way that benefits humanity. So for us all, I wish that we find this melody, and maybe we have a melody together after we walk out after this event today. Thank you.